Alright, next guy up I have is Kyler Fackrell. He was recommended by Joe in the Bills Draft Fanatics, the Bills Fanatics group, I should say. Um, it's a really good group if you're a Bills fan. There's a lot of conversation, not much bickering, good discussion. So definitely check out that group. So we'll go ahead and take a look at some of the stats, see his measurables, and then of course get into the film. So let's get a look here. I'll bring up my desktop so you can see the stats of Mr. Fackrell. Alright, so I'm not sure if you guys can see it close enough when you watch it on live or on film, but again, he plays at Utah State. He's an edge defender. Where he would project in the Bills scheme is obviously an outside linebacker. How often we use two outside linebackers in the 3-4, with how many different defenses that Rex plays, that is something we'll have to figure out during the season. But he played 88% of the snaps. He had 5 sacks last year, 25 pressures, which is really good, which was 17th overall and 17th in this draft class. 80 tackles, only missed 4, so he's a pretty good tackler. Let's see here. 29 run disruptions. He had a pretty good season last year. Now, when I look at the game logs, what I do want to see are his games against competition. So against number 24 Utah, how did he do? 5 tackles, no pressures, and 3 run disruptions. Against Boise, he played 80 snaps. He only had 2 pressures. He had a ton of tackles with 11, 4 run disruptions, and 2 stuffs, and he even forced a fumble. So it looks like those were the only 2 teams that Real Football Network has listed as top 25 teams. So now that we looked at some of his stats, his game logs, let's look at his measurables. And I usually go to mockdraftable.com to get an idea of the type of player he is, because they usually have the measurables up to date based on combine numbers and pro day numbers. So usually a pretty good site to use as far as measurables. So he was listed at 6'5", about 245 pounds, arm length of 33 1/4, hand size over 10, which is where I like to see it, over 10 for guys that are going to be edge defenders or defensive linemen. With their hand placement and their ability to shed and stack, you want to have arm length and you want to have large hand size to control the lineman. He had a pretty good vertical jump for his height, 34 1/2. 40-yard dash at 4.7, which for an edge defender slash DN outside linebacker, it's not bad. 4.7 is good. There's a lot of those type of players in the NFL that are successful. As far as who he compares to, really no one else in this draft or as of late. Well, Kurt Maggot down here, but it's only about a 77% match. A lot of players from years past. So now that we looked at the measurables, let's go ahead and take a look at the film. Hopefully the audio levels are good. Once I start playing here, I hope that the audio level stays consistent. So I do want to look at, it doesn't look like they have much film on him on Draft Breakdown. The most recent film they have is Colorado State and Boise State, and let's see what his numbers look like versus them. Colorado State, unranked team. Of course, that's probably why they have film on him. It's one of his most productive games. He had 8 pressures, 6 tackles, 2 run disruptions, 2 stuffs. So that's why they probably have him on there. So Boise State, which is probably okay. So that is the ranked, game that they have on Draft Breakdown. So of course I'm gonna start with that, because in that game he played 80 snaps, 2 pressures, 11 tackles, 4 run disruptions. He was all over the place, 2 stuffs, forced fumble. So let's start with that game, and depending on how long this goes, maybe I'll add the second game, Colorado State. Keep in mind, I do have a coach's clicker here, so it may seem at times that your video is buffering or it's, in rewind or stalled. That is not true. It is actually just me trying to analyze the play, trying to slow down the play. I'll have slow motion, so um, which I love to do and use during breaking down these players, because you can see the little nuances of the player, of the play itself. So it's good to have. And let's see if I can bring this up in the full. All right, let me pause it and turn the volume down for me because it's really loud in my ear. I don't think you'll be able to hear it, but you should be able to have a little audio in the background to kind of fill the gap. Just because when I tried having the commentators in the video, it was just too loud and kind of drowned me out. So we're going to try it this way. So on to the film. Boise State versus Utah State. Kyler Fackrell, edge defender. So he's at the top of the screen, 1st and 10. Just setting the edge on the run game. Quick hitter up inside. Minimal game. Alright, so looks like the film gets a little choppy to start, so just bear with me. I'm not going to obviously read into every single play. Plays that he was a difference maker I'm going to look at, and it looks like they're sending him off the edge here, which is something we used a lot last year with Manny Lawson, where we'd line him up on the slot or even in a number 1 wide receiver with a corner up over the top, and then late in the snap or post snap they would blitz him off the edge. That does happen in our defense. So now he's at the line of scrimmage. He's a force player. Quarterback fakes it and just runs a bubble screen to his side, to the wide side of the field. Turn up a little bit. Let me just make sure I have everything squared away on the site so everyone can hear it and see it. So we're good. Alright, back to the film. So it looks like they used him similar to Jerry Hughes as a rush linebacker, which we do need some depth at that position, which is why I could see the Bills taking a shot on this guy. He could be the backup to Hughes and also using the, as an outside linebacker in a 3-4. Uses a bull rush against a much bigger right tackle here. I like that. Sees he's looking in the backfield and saw where basically the QB is going to, stop in the pocket, get to the top of his drop, and he bull rushes this tackle right into the QB. It's overthrown on 3rd and 5. I like his fluidity here right off the bat. Initially shows near the line of scrimmage, then drops back, changes direction several times. I do like that. Let's watch it full speed. Drops, reads screen, gets upfield, and then helps with the tackle. So right off the bat, I do see him in coverage a little more than I saw Shalik Calhoun in the last video. Let's see. Another 3-down lineman set. Dropping. Should have flats here. Only threat that he saw go through was, I think, this tight end right here. So now he's to the field. This looks like if he would have gotten his hands up here, he's not going to get to the QB. So if he gets his hands up, he has his eyes on 3rd and 12. If he gets his hands up, he might have been able to affect the trajectory of that, but either way, it's an incomplete pass. I'm going to be pretty nitpicky because, that's what film analysis is about. Just little things that I've noticed. I'm not the smartest guy. I don't know the most about football, but little things that I think would help him and make a difference on the play, I'm going to point out. So Boise State runs away from him. Looks like a wide run. Now, I would like to see him stay right down the line of scrimmage, but it's a good play by the defender. All right, so now 3rd and 7, you're going to see a lot of teams, like anyone else, they're going to scheme some of their best pass rushers, especially in these 3rd and 7, 3rd and long situations. So, of course, they bring him inside, and they're not rushing him. They're just, looks like he's spying the quarterback, and it's actually a smart play because if he wasn't there, this quarterback could have been out to shoot here. I do see a running back leak in here. Yeah, I mean, it appears to me that it's a spy. And it looks like this defender actually is responsible for that running back leaking out, but he green dog blitzes thinking that the back stays in the block. Yeah, because look, he's peeling back off. So Fackrell sees the quarterback in trouble and he attacks. It's a smart play. Whether that's live or not, I don't know if that's actually a fumble. Yep, spying the quarterback. Commentator just said. Confirm that. I like that defensive play call, and Fackrell did his job. Saw the quarterback in trouble and just attacked him. So now he's on the edge as an outside linebacker. Beautiful, beautiful play. All right, let me start it from the beginning. All right. So he's edge defender here. Now what he's doing, he's reading this tackle's move, all right? Tackle blocks down, all right, so that he knows that the play is probably coming towards him. So his next read is this near back. Near back's coming to kick him out. Keeps a good angle, keeps the edge, forces the running back to have to go inside here to where, you know, the inside backers can fill. Of course, they do a good job. Very good technique, very good gap discipline here. This running back is forced to bounce it. Well, Fackrell keeps his outside leverage, his outside arm free, and makes the play. Watch that again. Watch it from get-go. It's a really good play. A good edge set, and then disengages when he has to, times it perfectly. Good play. All right, so he's out in space to the wide side of the field. Looks like he was probably a hook to curl defender there. And it looks like maybe there's a receiver right behind him. Don't know how deep he is already. Could have been running to the post. Right now, this defender is pretty complete. Just from the few clips I've seen, seems like he has the fluidity to drop in the coverage. He set a pretty good edge. How often or consistent he can do that is, you know, to be seen, especially at the NFL level. But I do like him as of right now. All right, so Russian here. Not a bad spin move. He's not really affecting the play. I like that he gets his hands up, though. Tries affecting the pass. That was a good job. I'm really high on Joe Schobert. This is Fackrell right here. I like Joe Schobert. I think these two guys play a very similar game. I do think that Schobert has a little heavier hands in versus the run, but we'll see. Maybe there's more film to back up Kyler Fackrell. I think he's like a 4th or 5th rounder from what I've been reading. Where's he at here? Yeah, not much of a rush there. Makes a play. I thought he was going to lose the edge there. This tackle, the left tackle, is a little more athletic, a little longer. Looks obviously probably a better player at left tackle. Fackrell does a good job of fighting off and disengaging. He did lose the edge there, lose the contain, but he did a good job of bringing him down, minimizing the gain. Oh, that's what I want to see right off the bat. Mid play, you see he's engaged with the player with his hands, controlling the hands of that tight end. All right, so he's disengaging right now. Let's see if he can make a play. Forces the play inside. Yeah, player gets by him, but stays in the play. Wide side of the field. A special play. Rippin', is that Mark's son or something? The quarterback? Alright, so looks like a 3-by-1 wide receiver set to the field. 2nd and 10. Appears to be possibly man coverage. They're just setting up a swing screen. Okay, so how quick does he read it? He sees it. Takes a good angle to the ball. But loses leverage. You want to see him keep outside leverage on that swing guy. By the time he reads it and gets upfield, he loses the edge there. He just falls because of that cut block. 3rd and 6. We're going to see a special blitz here. Looks like they bring it from the secondary. Quick pass. Not much pass rush out of him. I do like him in coverage. He's not bad, but I want to see more as an outside linebacker, as a rusher. Because I mean, we do have Manny Lawson playing outside linebacker right now, and he, of course, when he's lined up opposite Jerry Hughes, we want Jerry Hughes rushing. So more times, sorry about that, more times than not, Lawson's the one that's dropping in coverage. And this guy, I mean, I could see the Bills bringing this guy in mid-round as that guy to eventually replace Lawson. So, I mean, there is a place for him in the defense. I'm not saying that. But if he's going to be the replacement for Lawson, I want to see him better against the run game. Excuse me. Looks almost like our 4-3 under. There we go. That's a really good play. So yes, I mean, he's playing the run really well here. Tackle blocks down. Here comes an air back. Engages. Anchors down. Point of attack. Now, I mean, how well this will hold up in the NFL is, yeah, obviously we'll have to see. But I think he only bench pressed like 15 reps at 225. So, I mean, he's going to have to, put on some weight, and especially lower body if he wants to anchor down a little more. That was a good play, though. Technically, that was a good play. I mean, depending how long this game runs, we're only about not even quite halfway through. Probably just use this one game tape just because it is going to run a little long. Yeah, see, he's not much of a threat as a pass rusher. I mean, they had help there, but I just don't see him threatening or putting, good play, putting stress on the tackles or tight ends as a pass rusher. That was a great play. So not only does he use his length, but he uses his speed to beat this tackle. You can see his eyes are on the tackle, but through the tackle to the play, to the ball. Good job of staying off the block. Makes a play on the ball. I like it. It's a quick move. Looks like they even lose a yard or so. Alright, to the field again. Tackle blocks down. They throw us backside tight end at him on the split zone concept. A little too far. Looks like he's dropping into coverage here. They rush 4, or actually 3 in a spy. Okay, does he get to his zone? Alright, he's hooked the curl defender. He passes this player along because he sees this back possibly leaking out. So, good recognition. So it looks like they like to play him to the field, which obviously that usually means, I mean, he's proficient in coverage, and it does look like he does a really good job in coverage. Let's watch this play. Dropping. Eye on the QB. QB's releasing it. His eyes immediately turn to his threat. In breaking route. Looks like the receiver pulls up. Fackrell closes. Takes a good angle on the ball. Minimizes the gain after the catch. Let's watch it from the get-go. Alright, just noticed something. When he is dropping back his back pedal, he is pretty high. He's pretty high on his toes. Again, I'm being nitpicky. He's pretty high on his back pedal. But eventually does drop his hips and is able to change direction and make a play on the ball. Okay, I mean, I can't really tell the coverage over the top, but it looks like he's responsible for possibly going to the flats here. Which, okay, so he's got eyes on the QB, which good, but now you're in your zone. You know, whether he's supposed to be here in the hook to curl area or the flats, you need to find threats that are near your zone or in your zone. Kind of covers dirt here, and the receiver catches it at the sticks. Again, it's a little deeper than where his zone is, but you'd like to see him find threats and find people that are in his zone to even at least affect the passing lane here. Who knows, if he moves over a few yards, he could get in the passing lane with his length, and that might not be a reception. Now that I liked, because he saw that he gets to his zone and then he sees the threat coming through it. Alright, passes him on. Then look, you see him find this guy and takes away that passing lane. It's a great play. Perfect angle, see it. Sees that receiver not a threat to come into his area. Eyes immediately turn, find this threat coming across, takes that away, and of course the quarterback just gets rid of it. There we go. I want to see him rush now. That was a good rush. Let's look at this. Now he's versus the right tackle here. No help. You can see that he beats the tackle right off the bat. Pretty good jump. Forces that tackle to come out of his kick slide and affects the timing of the quarterback. There we go. I like that move. So in the prior play, he rushes upfield and outside. This play, he gets that tackle, kick sliding, and coming to meet him. Tackle goes to punch. Spin moves inside. Nice play. Hopefully there's another angle on that one. Nope. Beautiful. There's got to be a replay on that one. All right, so he's got the edge. He's ripping through right now. Next level is you want to make a play on the ball here. Goes for the elbow. Good job. Looks like that ball may be coming forward though. Second and 10. They're expecting pass to the sticks. He's got really good. He recognizes the route combination here. This is really nice. Okay, you got. Looks like they locked this corner down here. So these are the two threats, and they're going to be running some kind of combination. He recognizes this guy coming right across and takes that away. That's a really good job. Eyes on the QB. Okay, who are my threats? Who's coming through my zone? Here's a crosser, and he actually sticks it. That's a good job. Tries a bull rush, neutralized. And I think he did that because he might have thought that running back coming out of the backfield was going to chip. So he changes his angle, goes right at the QB through the tackle. Nice play. I like him on the edge. Alright, if he loses contain here, this could be a big play. He sees the tackle coming out to block him. Doesn't give too much ground. Good job with his using his length and his hands to keep the tackle off him. And of course, that running back tries bouncing it again, and Fackrell wasn't having it. Oof. Okay, it was a mismatch here. So he's to the wide side of the field. Got two receivers out here, and looks like they're in zone coverage. He's got inside leverage on this wide receiver. He doesn't want to get beat to the inside. That receiver sets him up nice with a little shimmy, shoulder shake, and it makes him widen just a little bit, become flat-footed, and gives the wide receiver the inside release. I mean, it is a wide receiver, so I mean, it's a tough cover for him. You would like to see that safety maybe help him out a little more, especially being right here, but he's got deep responsibility, so even this linebacker, it's a good play. I mean, it's a mismatch. Of course, there's that at the end. It's a good window. Quarterback gets it right in that secondary window. 8 turnovers this game. Wow. Another good play versus the run. For his frame, you know, being kind of, he looks thin on film. He does a pretty good job of using his body and leverage to. That's a good punch there here at the bottom of the screen. keeps the edge. His boys come fill. I guess he's spying here. 3rd and 8, wide side of the field. He's inside the box. I see. I imagine he's going to spy here. And immediate threat. Gets in that zone. And he must be just reading the eyes of the quarterback here because he goes with him instead of helping on this crosser. Should be calling crosser on this, or letting this other linebacker know that this number 1 is coming across. But I mean, knowing the down and distance, I could see why he kept dropping. I mean, I don't know his exact assignment, but knowing that this quarterback wants to get to the sticks, I could see why he took this guy away. Having this wide receiver come across the field, he knows that there's help and that ball's still in front of him. You gotta catch that. Boy. Fast forward through some of these plays. Game's pretty much over anyways. I like what they did with him on 3rd downs. They used him more to the middle of the field, where his length, being 6'5", takes away some of those, 10-yard posts over the middle. It affects the passing lane, and I like that. I mean, the Bills kind of did something like that when we had to use Lawson at Mike, and actually, I think it was against the Texans. They played a lot of cover 2, and that takes away that middle of the field. Having those kind of linebackers with length. Boise just wants to get something here. They want to get in that end zone. Oof, got outside that time. That's a tough play, but lost contain there. Oh, I don't know why it's doing that. Alright, looks like the video is glitching up on me, so I'm gonna stop playing the rest of the game's pretty much over. I like this kid. I mean, he seems like a pretty complete player. Obviously needs to bulk up a little more, strengthen his hands, and his pass rush. I mean, if he's going to be a 3-4 outside linebacker for us, I'd like to see him, be a little better with his power. He's got good leverage. I like his leverage, but I would like to see him strengthen up a little more, and for him to be, a full-time player eventually, 1 year to 2 years down the line. So that's the end of the film session for Kyler Fackrell from Utah State. Please keep sending in your requests, who you want me to cover on draft day. I got the whole day off, so I'm more than willing to look at anyone you want to look at and break down. And like I said, depending on the length of the videos that Draft Breakdown has, I like to typically get in at least 2 to 4 games to get an idea on the prospects. So thanks for tuning in, and see ya.